Okay, hello everybody. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. Looks like we've got a good group here, and I'm excited that we're all able to chat about declaring your major, which is an exciting part of your first year journey. So today, is myself. So I am Rachel Anderson, she, her, and I am one of the first year academic advisors for art students in Honors Arts and Honors Arts and Business. Andrea West is also here. Her and I work together supporting those students. And then Britt is also here from St. Jerome's for any co-registered students. So just a few things before we get started. We are going to record the session. So if you want to watch it back for anything, if you miss something, you can always watch the recording again or share it with a friend if they weren't able to tune in today. There are a few QR codes throughout the presentation. So if you've got your device, you can always grab those codes and those links, but we will also have those available in a follow-up as well. We are going to go through a few slides of content, taking maybe 20 minutes just to go over some of the main things, and then we will have lots of time at the end for questions. So there is a Q&A chat built into the webinar. So if you have questions, that will open near the end, and we would love to hear all of the questions that you have. Hopefully, our slides will cover a lot of the info that you're going to need. So things that we're going to cover today is the overall steps for declaring your major, our eligibility criteria, how you're going to learn about different majors and minors. I will tell you about some of the drop-in advising sessions that we have. So if you have questions or you want help with the process, you can always pop by during those. We will give a brief overview of the Declare Your Major online web form. There are some questions that we often get, so we'll go through a couple of FAQs, talk about what's next, and then have lots of time for questions. So as you would have seen on the Declare Your Major website that was linked for you, there are a few steps that you're going through. So we've got the first one is just attending this session to get a good overview of the process and a bit of a rundown. Next, you're going to learn about the different majors and minors, confirm your interest in those. Connecting with a co-op or a career advisor if you're unsure or want some more guidance around a major, your career goals, and deciding about co-op. And then finally submitting the form, and that is due by April 6th, which is the last day of classes. And then during the summer, we will have our course selection where you start choosing your courses for second year. And so that's sort of the 5 steps in the Declare Your Major process that we're in. So I'm going to pass it over to Britt to talk about some of the criteria for declaring your major.
Okay. Hi, everyone. So to get into just some general criteria for declaring your major, the first thing is the average required. So there are 2 options for a major, either a general or an honors. A 70% average in your major subject is required for honors, whereas it's a 65 for general plans. If you are an arts and business student or you want to combine arts and business with your major, it must be an honors major, and that would require you to also have a 70% in your arts and business courses, which in first year is ARBIS 101, 102, 202, and Econ 101. And just a note that co-op is only available within an honors majors. So something to note is that 70 average. Your cumulative average needs to be at least a 60, which is all courses combined at the university, regardless of which faculty they are in. And you need a minimum of 8 courses to declare your major. So just keep an eye on that in your first year. Maybe you're only wrapping up at 7 courses or 6 after this term, which is equivalent to 4.0 units to hit those 8 courses. And then 1 or 2 courses in a major subject must be completed in order to declare a major. And that's dependent on some specific majors that we'll go over as well. So a few majors to note that require 2 courses. Again, most majors only require one with at least one numeric grade. So again, that's a 70 for honors, 65 for general. But then the majors listed below are required to have at least 2 courses or more complete. So for economics, it requires Econ 101 and 102 with numeric grades. For math economics, it requires Econ 101 and 102 plus 2 math courses with all numeric grades. Your math average for mathematical economics needs to be at a 60. For Fine Arts Studio, you need Fine 100 and VCult 101. For music, any 2 courses, both required numeric grades. And visual culture requires VCult 100 and 101. And now I will pass it off to Andrea to talk about some majors and minors.
Oh, you're still on mute, Andrea.
Thank you, Rachel. I thought I hit unmute. Hey, everybody. So throughout the month of March, you are going to have the opportunity to connect with the different departments in regards to the majors and minors that they offer. Some of the departments will be offering information sessions in person, while others are really encouraging you just to reach out and email them. Don't be afraid to email them. They are expecting it. They're really wanting to connect with you. So write down your questions, anything you want about the majors and the minors, and just reach out to them. Connect with as many majors and minors as you're interested in. It's a great opportunity to really dive in and figure out which major you want to pursue. Is there a minor you want to pursue? Really check that out. We do have over 29 different majors and 40 different minors to choose from. So there's lots of different things to look into. So when you're on the Declare Your Major webpage, you will see under step 2 is where you're going to find the link to the department information sessions. So if you just click into that link, it's going to take you to our next slide. And this is what it's going to look like. So there is a chart. The upper part of the chart is all the majors and their contacts and information sessions, any information they want to share with you. And then at the bottom is all the minor information. So again, be sure to reach out, connect with as many, advisors and departments as you want. Really dive in to learn more about the different areas that you're interested in.
Great, thanks, Andrea. So the next step is thinking about co-op. So deciding you would have been invited when you applied to the university to choose co-op or regular, and now you have a chance to either change your mind or confirm your interest. So if you apply to regular and you're kind of considering co-op, or you're in co-op and thinking you might want to change it, co-op has made a great video with one of the co-op advisors, Jay Copeland, just kind of giving a great overview about what to expect from the co-op program. So this, I think it's maybe 3 minutes, and it's a great quick overview about what to expect from co-op. So this is a good one to watch just to review that decision, because this is your opportunity to either to get into co-op. You can always leave co-op later, but this is the only chance to kind of get into it. We have lots of support as well for this decision-making process. So we have career advisors and co-op advisors that are available as a free service to students. So the career advisors can talk with you about how to choose a major that aligns with your career goals, your interests, your values. They'll support you as you research different opportunities, different careers, different jobs, and how that would align with the majors. And if you're torn between a couple of majors or a couple of programs, they can also kind of help you through that decision-making process. The co-op advisors are a great resource for any co-op related questions that you have, or if you want to know more about the process and kind of what you're going to be getting into, the co-op advisors are available to support with that as well. Here. So there's going to be drop-in opportunities. So you are able to book one-on-one full appointments with both of these supports, but there are drop-in opportunities as part of the declare your major process. So academic advisors and career advisors will be in the Haggy Hub Project Cube next Tuesday and the Tuesday after from 10 till 2 to talk about any kind of those questions that you have. And then we are also going to have drop-in advising with your co-op advisors in the Arts Undergraduate Office in the PIS building on Wednesday, March 4th and Wednesday, March 11th in the afternoon from 1 till 3. So if you want to come by during any of those times and just chat with one of the career advisors or co-op advisors about either of those things, you are very welcome to come by. We also have some of those folks on the call today, so if you have questions, they can answer those later today as well. Andrea, do you want to talk about the form?
Yeah. So the form is live at this point. So students are welcome to log in with your What I Am ID and password and fill it out. The last day to submit the form is the last day of classes, so April 6th. And it's really easy step by step. You literally log in with your What I Am ID and password. There'll be a drop down that asks if you want honors arts or honors arts and business. You select which you want. It'll ask if you want co-op, select that if you want, and you just proceed that way. You are able to submit the form as many times as you want throughout the month of March. So if you submit it and you decide you want to change what you requested, go ahead and do that. We are going to just go with whatever the last submission is when we close the form on April 6th. So again, whatever that last submission that you put in is the one that we're going to go with. And you can find the link to the form. If you see the slide in front of you, it's on the Declare Your Major website under step number 4, there will be a link to the form, and then this is the form landing page. And at the bottom, you'll see where you log in. As you can see, yep, right where the arrow is there. If you move to the next slide, this is what the form looks like. So again, once you put in your ID and password, it's going to open up to this form. You put in your student ID, first name, last name, all your information, and then it's pretty simple drop downs for the rest of the form. Make sure that you put in your correct student ID. That is really important so that we're making sure that we've got the correct person to be admitting to the program, the major that you're requesting. So again, just make sure you verify that you're inputting your correct student ID.
Okay, and just a couple frequently asked questions to go over. We'll get those over with, and I know other people have questions as well, which we'll open in a bit. So first question, what if I don't have 8 courses complete? So most students can take spring term courses to reach the minimum of 8 courses they need to be able to declare a major, which means that you'd be able to towards the end of August. Any student that's in a regular program, so not co-op, can take any number of courses they want this spring, so 1 to 5. Whereas co-op students, there is a maximum number of courses you can complete prior to being officially admitted to co-op, which would take place this fall. You can't be past 13 courses total throughout your first year of studies here. So just keep that in mind if you're planning on taking spring term courses. And if you're an international student taking any courses in the spring, just make sure you chat with the immigration consultants in the SSO to verify if you're able to do so while on your study permit. If you have questions about which courses to take and what might be best for you, feel free to speak to one of your advisors. Can you declare 2 majors? I know a lot of folks have this question and are super eager to fit a bunch of things in within their degree and really make it their own. The short answer is yes. Both must be honors though, with a 70% average in each subject. So sociology and psychology both would have to hit that 70, for example. If you are planning on doing co-op, you're going to follow the co-op sequence for the first major that you list, as opposed to that second one. And if you're in arts and business, just note that it will likely, or it will, take extra courses beyond the 40 courses required to graduate if you're looking to double major. And we'll go over that on the next slide. So as an example, if you are looking to do 2 majors within the arts and business program, it will take you a little bit longer to complete your degree. So you need 40 courses minimum to get your Bachelor of Arts degree. 14 courses are required within the ARBIS program, 16 for each major, 1 communication requirement course, which is your Arts 160, as well as some breadth requirement courses that don't overlap with your ARBIS courses. So that would be a total of 53 courses. This is if none of those courses can count towards 2 parts of your plan, and that's a good question to plan out with your advisor. Some majors have some overlapping courses that could count. There are some rules around that as well, so it's always good to chat through those things. If you are in ARVIS and you're looking to just do 1 major, that typically leaves you for room of about 3 electives throughout your degree. So just a note on that as well. Do you need to declare a major? If you're unsure about which major you want, a great option is liberal studies. So liberal studies is a great option if you don't have the required courses within a specific major you're looking at yet, or the grades that you need, or you're looking for a more flexible major to combine with ARBIS or co-op or some minors you're interested in. Liberal studies counts all Faculty of Arts courses, and the honors average required for that major would be a 70. And this would be to maintain or be eligible for co-op and be combined with the arts and business program if applicable. So a great option to chat with your advisors about as well if you're looking for that flexibility within your degree and are interested in a bunch of different subjects. Highly recommend looking into liberal studies, whether it's in the interim or for your entire degree. If you don't know which major you want, declaring a major for now will also make course selection easier moving forward. So you will start choosing courses for your second year in the spring, in May. And so that does allow you to have some precedent in some courses and do your course planning in a different way. So declaring the major you want as soon as you're able is always the good move to make. And if not, maybe consider liberal studies for now or for your degree. Yes, you can declare minors at the same time. You don't have to. Typically, minors require you to have 1 course complete in that minor at a minimum. And there's a certain average for most Faculty of Arts minors. It's a 65%, but that can change depending on some minors are at a 70. So just be sure you're looking into that as well and chatting with someone if you have questions. You don't have to declare a minor now if you don't want to. You can add minors later on. Sorry. Thanks, Rachel. What is co-registering? So a lot of folks probably don't know who I am or what St. Jerome's is. Maybe you had a class on our campus by accident, or maybe you chose a class that you're really interested in. That's great. We're happy to have you here. We have students on our campus in all faculties all the time. We have residents that live with us in all faculties. But if you're an arts student, you can actually officially join our campus by co-registering. Essentially, what that means is you're still getting a UW degree in all the same ways and get access to all the great resources that are offered on campus, with some extra perks of being a co-registered student at St. Jerome's. For example, we have specific advisors here. I am one of them. There's smaller class sizes here where you can get to know some peers and faculty members in different ways, as well as some additional scholarships and some just community-based events and great things that happen here. We have a great community over here that sometimes can feel a little bit less daunting than navigating the big campus of UW. And so if that resonates with you, I welcome you to chat with me about that. Where is St. Jerome's? I tried to make that arrow legible. Hopefully you can see. Again, maybe you've heard of us. We have a great library here that was recently renovated that typically has space still during exam season sometimes. And we have a great Funkin' Cafe here that has awesome matcha lattes if you're interested in that. So come visit us, whether it's to grab a drink or go to the library or co-register or come to an event. We also have drop-in advising here every Wednesday from 2 to 6. There's 2 arts advisors here in person during that time. If you have questions about anything to do with courses on our campus or co-registering, we're happy to see you.
Fabulous. Thank you. So just 2 more slides about what is next. So once your request for a major has been processed, we will confirm with you in the spring term in May with admission to your major and the results of that. And then course selection for our fall term will run from May 21st to June 1st. And we have charts to, just as we had in first year, we have charts to guide you in second year in terms of which courses to take. So these 2 QR codes will take you to the recommended courses for second year based on your major for honors arts or honors arts and business. I will say that these pages haven't been fully updated yet because we're still waiting for some of the scheduling information. But if you want to get a sense of what you might be looking at in fall, you're welcome to take a peek at those if you're a planner. And the other thing just to be aware of is study abroad and academic exchange opportunities for students. So we have partnership agreements with over 100 universities worldwide, and it's a really great way to add some international experience to your degree, explore other cultures, challenge yourself, learn new things. So to be eligible for this, you're looking at a 70% cumulative average, so not just in your major, but cumulatively. And you would typically apply during your fall term to study in the next academic year. So for 2026, applications are open from October 1st to October 31st. And that QR code will take you to UW's Go Abroad website. And if you have questions or you want to learn a bit more, you can always get in touch with Sarah, who's our exchange advisor, by emailing arts.exchange@uwaterloo.ca, and she's happy to chat. So I have opened the Q&A function here. So if you've got a question, you're welcome to type that in and we will answer as many as we can. So that should be open there. I also wanted to just put up a reminder about some of the drop-in advising that we have going on during the Declare Your Major season. So again, we have the academic advisors and career advisors next week and the week after. So Tuesday, March 3rd, we'll be there all day from 10 till 2, as well as the following Tuesday, March 10th. We'll be there from 10 till 2 as well. We will have snacks. We will have friendly faces, so come on by. You can bring your laptop, we can do the form together, or we can just kind of chat about some of the things that you're considering. Career advisors will also be there. So if you have like a quick career question or you just want to like meet them, you can come on by and do that. And they are very excited to be part of this. And then, of course, we also have our co-op advisors who will be in our arts undergrad office Wednesday, March 4th and Wednesday, March 11th from 1 until 3. So co-op questions, you want to learn more about the co-op program, you want to talk about jobs for a major, all that kind of stuff, you're welcome to pop by. And then just also a reminder that we always have drop-in academic advising in the Arts Undergraduate Office on Wednesdays from 10 till 12 and 1 till 3. So you're always welcome to come by, and there will be an advisor here who's happy to help. Okay, we've got a couple of questions coming in. So one question, I'm in arts and business. Do I have enough extra credits to do a minor without additional courses? So combining a minor with arts and business and the major. Andrea, do you want to answer this one?
Sure. So if you were in arts and business, you technically don't have enough room to complete a minor without doing extra courses. As the one slide that we had up indicated, you have 14 courses in arts and business, 16 for your major. So there's 30 of the 40 right there. Along with your Arts 160 and then your arts breadth requirements. So typically you have about roughly 3-4 electives in your entire degree. And that means your minor is 8 courses, so you will have extra courses to complete. Students, if you're wanting to take extra courses, like if you're okay with extra courses and you have an overall average of 75%, after you've completed 10 courses, you can discuss taking a 6th course in a term with your academic advisor. You can get permission for that. It is a heavy course load, but the bonus for that is there's no tuition cost when you take a 6th course. So work closely, speak with your advisor. You may be able to fit the courses in that way without costing yourself more time and money. But it's important to work with them because there could be some ramifications in regards to co-op if you're in the co-op program. So just make sure you're connected with your advisor.
The other thing with ARVIS and doing the major and the minor is if that's something that you're really excited about and you want to be able to demonstrate that you have 2 areas of interest, and you're just excited about 2 areas, it can be worth it to do the extra courses. But it also might be that we can find overlap between the minor and the breadth requirements, or the minor in your major, the minor in your ARVIS, to make it a bit more efficient. So, and that really just depends on the subjects that you're choosing. So if that's something you're considering, come by our drop-in advising or set up a meeting with your advisor, and we can kind of look at that one-on-one and just kind of see how many extra courses we would be looking at. The next question, can you double major in anything? Pretty much anything within arts. There are a few that have you can't combine, but generally speaking, most arts majors you can combine to a double major. Oh, there's so many questions now. That's great. Okay. If I want to go into the GBDA program, would I select the Honors Arts and Business academic program? Britt or Andrea, do you want to talk about that kind of a program change?
Sure. Yeah. If you are a student in Honors Arts or Honors Arts and Business and you think you want to transfer to a different program, such as GBDA or AFM, for instance, you should review the Arts Internal Transfer webpage. There is information on that page for students wanting to potentially transfer to those specific programs, and then reach out to the advisors in SAF if you have questions for AFM, or to Lauren in Stratford, who's the recruitment coordinator, if you have questions about trying to transfer over to GBDA.
Awesome. Thank you, Andrea. Another question, for how long is one required to declare a minor? So you can declare a minor now during the declare your major process if that's something that you're sure about now, but you can also add it later. So if you discover next year that you have an interest in something and you want to add a minor later, you can absolutely do that. You would just have courses in that subject with the required average. I'm in arts and business and my plan is to major in economics. Will I still need to reach that 70% for all the arts and business courses, or is that just in econ? Britt, do you want to take that one?
Yeah, so you'll need to hit your arts and business average at a 70% to maintain that program. And econ happens to be one of those courses, but you're also majoring or hoping to major in that. And so you will have to hit a 70% in all of your economics courses as well, which includes Econ 101.
Super. And then another question about the econ major. So I want to major in economics, but I've only taken one econ course. How would this work since I have to declare the major by the end of this term? Britt, do you want to take that as well?
Yeah. So in this case, you would declare your major as something else on the form for now, since it's due before you can take the required courses to declare economics. So for example, you could declare something else that you've completed maybe at least one course in and got a 70%. Liberal studies is also a great option. And then you can take Econ 102 this spring, pending your average that comes back with 101 plus 102. You could then move into an econ major towards the end of August.
Perfect. Thanks, Brett. We got a question clarifying the required averages. So I'm in the honors arts program. Is the 70% grade average required at the end of second year or the end of your university year, or when is that 70%? Andrea, would you like to speak to that?
Yeah, so if you're hoping to declare an honors major, that 70% cumulative major average is required at the end of the winter term, like this current term. If you want to declare the honors major and move into that major for your fall 2A term, that's especially important if you want or are in the co-op program currently, or if you want to add it. Once you're into that honors major, you need to maintain that 70% cumulative average throughout the duration of your studies. If you were to drop below, then you risk having co-op removed and being bumped to the general level of your major.
Yes, thank you, Andrea. That is a common question as well. So I'm glad that that one was asked. There is a question about breadth requirements. So let me see if I can, don't think I'll be able to pull that up. So the breadth requirements is a set of 10 courses that every student needs to complete in order to get their Bachelor of Arts degree. And these 10 courses are from 5 different categories. So it's basically demonstrating that you have a breadth of knowledge in your degree when you graduate. So for arts and business students, we say that there are 5 breadth requirements instead of 10 because a lot of the required ARBIS courses meet some of those breadth requirement categories. So you can find the breadth requirements on the undergraduate academic calendar. And we can pop a link to those in the chat in response to your question. But it's really good to be aware of those at this point, just to make sure that you're hitting those by the time that you graduate, so that you don't get surprises later on. Okay, another question. I am in arts and business, and my plan is to major in communication arts and design practice. What would I have to achieve in Econ 101, and am I required to take more econ classes? Britt or Andrea, do you want to answer that one?
Yeah, I feel like I'm getting all the econ questions. Take it. Yeah, so if you're looking to major in communication arts and design, but you're also in the arts and business program, you need an average within your arts and business courses of a 70% or higher, which includes Econ 101. So that will be a balance of your 4 ARBIS courses that you've taken within your first year to hit that 70. Perhaps you get a 65 in one, but a 75 in another ARBIS course, you're still hitting that 70 average within your ARBIS courses combined. So just something to note and play around with depending on how your grades came back last term. And then if you are to continue within that major of communication arts and design, you do not need to take any more economics courses after you've completed Econ 101.
Thanks, Brett. I'll also just have a quick reminder. We do have Alicia on the call. So she is one of our career advisors that's assigned to art students. So if anybody has questions about career advising, the process of getting a career advising appointment, anything like that, Alicia is here to speak to that. And then we have Chantal as well, who is a co-op advisor. So if you have co-op questions, we would welcome those as well. There's a question here. Is there a specific year that is a cutoff to declaring another major or a minor? For example, if I'm not sure if I want to do a double major in psychology or sociology, but I declare a major in psych first, and then later decide that I also want to major in sociology or change my major, is there a cutoff when I can no longer make these changes? Andrea, do you want to take that one?
Sure. So there is not a specific cutoff as to when you can add a second major for a double major or add a minor. But you have to keep in mind that the later that you add, especially that double major, you are likely going to end up having to stay a bit longer to fit the courses in. So for example, if you move into your third year and you decide at that point that you want to add that double major, now all of a sudden you're adding potentially another 16 courses if you haven't taken any towards that major. For example, you're adding another 16 courses to your plan. So you need to have time to fit all those courses in, and you won't necessarily be able to plug like 3 and 4 in a term, depending on when courses are offered, if there's time conflicts, things like that. So the sooner you can do it, the better. Especially for that double major. Minor, it's not so bad because it's only 8 courses. It's more the double major. But other than that, you aren't locked in. Like, you can make changes as you go through, and just reach out to your advisor when and if you have questions about that.
Perfect. Thank you, Andrea. Another question, what happens when you submit the declare your major form for the one you want, and then you end up not qualifying for that major at the end based on winter grades? That's a great question. So if you don't end up hitting the requirements for the major that you listed on the form, we will contact you and ask you about other options. We will go through what you might be qualified for instead, see about making a plan on how you could work on getting into those qualifications for that major. So it's not a shut door, it's not over. It's very much like we would reach out to you and have a conversation about how we can help you meet those goals and your different options and pathways moving forward. Oh, I clicked on something and now everything looks different. This one I might pass to Chantel. So when it comes to arts and business co-op, should the co-op be more specified to the business portion of the program, to my major? Does it matter?
Great question. And I was starting to type in the chat, so I'll just speak to it here. So, an important thing to note about how your job search works is that, especially on Waterloo Works, we don't limit what you can apply to. So, as an art student, you could even apply to software development jobs if that's an interest of yours and you're doing that in your spare time. So what you apply to and what you do for co-op will really be informed by what your interests are and what your career goals are. I would say we have, depending on the major you're declaring, some majors you might see fewer really specific opportunities on Waterloo Works for a variety of reasons. I'm specifically thinking about, legal studies students are sometimes looking for work in law firms, but we don't see those necessarily posted in Waterloo Works in huge numbers. But you'll find a lot of different kinds of, general business or marketing or those kinds of things, and you might find some of the niche majors. All of that is to say, though, if you are looking for something specific, whether or not you're seeing it on Waterloo Works, your your co-op advisor, career advisors are there for this too, but co-op advisor, you have one already if you are in a co-op program assigned to you, and you can reach out at any time to talk about your recruitment, whether that's within Waterloo Works or even things you want to do externally. If you're not finding what you like on Waterloo Works, we're here for all of those questions. And, you might choose to do some in business and then some with your major, and maybe, some third options in things that you get interested in as your degree progresses and you figure out you might want another path with your career. All of those options are open to you.
That's fabulous. Thank you, Chantel. Or was the other one here? Another question, is it possible to do 2 minors with a major? Yes, that is great. So for honors art students, you would typically have 13 electives in your degree. So 8 of those 13 would then be 1 minor. You'd be left with 5 electives. So you could use those 5 then to go to the second minor, which is typically another 8 courses. You would want to be looking at if there's any overlap between your major, either of the minors or their breadth requirements, to find some efficiency to fit everything in. And if not, you might just have to take an extra couple of courses to get both of the minors and your major, but that is totally possible. You can do as many courses here as you want. We're not going to cut you off. You could do a major with 17 minors if you were really excited about all of that. It's just going to take a while. So really it's up to you, but meeting with your advisor and kind of mapping that out and seeing how many courses you'd be looking at is a great step. Yeah, that's what we're here for. There's often students bringing in Excel sheets or Post-it notes, whatever it is that they've mapped out where they think their courses are going, and we're very happy to look at that as well. Okay. Let me see if there's anything else here. I think we've answered most of these. Alicia, I'm wondering if you want to pop on and just kind of say hello and talk about career advising and booking appointments, that kind of thing.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for all of the information you've been able to share so far. Are you able to hear me okay? Beautiful. So there are a million, not actually a million, but if you think about all of the different minors and majors and double majors, or maybe 2 minors, all of the different choices, if anybody on this call is feeling slightly overwhelmed at what is going on or the decisions they have to make, you're not alone, and it's okay. Career advising can be helpful because we can give you 30 minutes or 60 minutes, either in person or virtually, to just walk through what some of those choices are. And we can ask reflective questions, or we can do some card sorts and games that help unlock what choices might make sense. If you want to book with us, you can find us at the next Declare Your Major event. We'll be at the booths there. Or you can go on to Waterloo Works, and even you don't have to be a co-op student to go on to Waterloo Works. And if you go down to the appointments tab on the left-hand side, you'll be able to book appointments with us. We have open appointments for next week, and that way we can give you some dedicated time to do some of that reflection as well. If you're ever curious but Waterloo Works feels confusing, you can also reach out to this email. If someone can type it into the chat for me, careers@uwaterloo.ca. The great folks at our front desk will be able to support you in booking an appointment, and that way you can feel supported by a career advisor when you're making some of these cool decisions coming up. Anything else I can clarify?
I think that's great. Thank you, Alicia.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And I've seen the results. Students have shared with me the results from their career advising appointment. And it's really cool, like thinking about like values and like work style and stuff. So yeah, I think it's great. And it's a service that's free for our students. And if you do it later, it's quite expensive. So take advantage of the resource that's available. They are excellent at what they do. We'll maybe grab a couple more questions. So the question is, who can I talk to in more detail about planning my degree? Like what classes I should take if I'm torn between 2 programs, if I want a minor. So that is academic advisors. So we are here to help. If you're in first year, that's going to be myself or Andrea. And if you're co-registered with St. Jerome's, then you're going to see Britt. But we are here to help figure that out. So you can come by our Declare Your Major drop-in advising, which is on the screen here. So Tuesday from 10 till 2 on March 3rd and March 10th. And we can kind of talk through all of that with you, or you can come by the Arts Undergraduate Office on a Wednesday, and we can sit down and go over that as well. So please do get in touch. If you would like instead to set up a one-on-one appointment, maybe you want a little bit more time or a little bit more privacy, you can email artsadvisor@uwaterloo.ca, and those messages go to Tracy, and she will make sure you're connected, get your appointment, get your questions answered, that kind of thing. So you can always reach out to Tracy and our team, artsadvisor@uwaterloo.ca. And we would love to look at all of that with you. Okay. I will pause for just a moment. I think we've covered most of the questions, and I'm really glad that so many people were able to join us today. Some really great questions. This is an exciting time. You know, you applied with your interest, you got to take a bunch of courses, and now's the time to confirm, to change your mind, to realize all of the different possibilities that are available in arts at Waterloo. So explore, talk to the different departments, look at your different options, use your resources, chat with co-op advisors, career advisors, academic advisors. We are here to support you in this decision-making process, so please come and see us. We want to help you navigate this, and this is an exciting time for us as well to see you make this step of declaring your major. So I will put this, the drop-in help back up on the screen. Please come and see us. And I'm going to end us here now. If you want to watch this back or share it with a friend, it will be posted on our Declare Your Major website tomorrow or Monday. So you can come back and watch that. Okay, thank you, everybody. And thank you to our presenters as well for helping share some of this content. So Andrea, Britt, Alicia, and Chantel, thank you for your time and speaking with students. And we also had some advisors in the background kind of helping with the Q&A and the chat. So thank you to Jennifer, Kelly, and Lynn for doing that. Thank you very much. Okay, have a great day, everybody. And please do come and see us with your questions.